Hey everybody, welcome to Frannie's Square and to part 4 of the Fall Fireside Afghan Crochet Along. Okay, so as you know, this crochet along has been more of a make it your own crochet along. It seems everybody is following along with the stitches, but doing their own thing, which I absolutely love. I love seeing your progress. Please keep sending the pictures for show and tell. It inspires and motivates the rest of us, and it gives us some ideas of what we can do for our blanket. So for this next round, what I wanted to do was start to incorporate all the colors that I'll be using in the blanket, and I wanted this round to tie all the other rounds together. So we've been doing the Afghan with 3 sides of color for each round, and I wanted to stick with that, but I wanted to start to incorporate all the colors that are going to be in the Afghan. So I decided to start doing granny squares, and I'm doing them using the falling leaves stitch pattern because I really loved it and I thought it would be a really nice addition to this blanket. So what I've started to do is make all of these squares, and I put together a tutorial for you on how to make these squares. And what I'll be doing is putting the squares on a blanket and pooling all of the colors together, and then I'll continue with more rounds of single color, doing 3 sides again, or I may decide to switch it up and go to 4. Haven't decided that yet. In any case, since we're all kind of making it our own but doing the same thing, you can decide how you want to attach the squares. At this point, I think I'm going to add squares to 3 sides of the Afghan, keeping with the pattern that I've been doing. Now, to attach the squares to 3 sides, I'm going to have to make sure those sides fit with the number of squares that I want to use. And you'll have to do that also. Because we have different size Afghans, I can't tell you exactly what those sides or the number of squares you'll need will be. What I will say is if your measurement is not exactly a multiple of your squares, you can do a few things. You can attach the squares with a few rows between them to space them out with color, or you could do something like putting 3 squares just around the corners and then doing another stitch in between. Or you could just use a square in each corner. Totally up to you. I really look forward to seeing what you're doing. Okay, this is an easy square. They're fun to make. The one thing I love about granny squares is you can take them, and while you're waiting in a doctor's office or waiting while you're picking up kids, whatever you're doing, you can do a square quickly and just have it with you in a little bag. So I love adding granny squares to things. All right, so let's get started and let's learn how to make this granny square. I'm going to be making many different squares to pull in all the colors that I'll be using in my Fireside Afghan. And for each square, I'm going to use 5 colors. So for this one I'm going to make here, I'm going to use these colors here. Let me just show you. And I will list them below, but they're all Stylecraft Special DK yarn that I've been using all along. So we'll start with the center, and I'll use this color, which I believe is mustard. And I'm going to start out by making a magic circle. So the way I do that is I lay the tail in my hand like this and wrap the yarn around my 2 fingers and make an X, just like that. I have the working yarn I'm holding with this finger here. I put the hook under this part of the X and over this part. I pull it up, twist it, grab that working yarn, and pull it through that, and there I have my magic circle. Okay, if you need to, rewind that and take a look at that again. Okay, so now I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and that's going to count as my first double crochet, and then I'm going to do 11 more double crochets into the circle. Okay, that's 1. All right, so just yarn over into the center, yarn over, I have 3 on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And I'm going to make sure I do 11 double crochets into the center, which will give me a total of 12. Okay, so that should be a total of 12, including the first 3 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, the beauty of the magic circles, I'm just going to pull this tail and tighten my magic circle up, just like that. Then I'm going to slip stitch into, not the top of the chain 3 here, but into the first double crochet stitch there. Slip stitch. And when I do that and I count my stitches, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Exactly what I want, 12 stitches. Make sure I grab my working yarn and I'm going to fasten off. There we go. And that's it for the first color. Okay, so the next color I'm going to choose, let me see here. I think I'll use this color here. And it's like a khaki color or olive. I'm not sure of the name, but again, I'll post them in the description. Okay, so for this round, what I'm going to do, so you have 12 stitches at the end of this round. At the end of the second round, we're going to have 18 stitches. So I'm going to make a slip knot, just like that, and attach anywhere to one of the stitches. Okay, and I'm going to just go right over this end as I go around. So I'm going to chain 3, 2, 3, and then in that same stitch I'm going to do a double crochet. Okay, now in the next stitch, which is right here, this is the post of that next stitch, I'm going to do a falling leaves stitch. So what I do is I yarn over, go under that post, just like that. So the post is in the front. I'm going to yarn over, pull up a loop, so I have 3 on my hook, yarn over again, and go back under that post, yarn over again, pull up a loop. Now I have 5 on my hook. Now I'm going to yarn over, pull through 4 of them. You see that extra one wants to hang out there anyway. It makes it easy. Then yarn over and pull through those 2. Okay, that's my falling leaf stitch. Then I'm going to go to my next stitch, which is right here, and do 2 double crochets into the stitch. And then in my next stitch, around that post, again, yarn over, go under the post, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 on the hook, yarn over, go under that post again, yarn over, pull up a loop, 5 on my hook, yarn over, pull through 4 of them. I have 2 left, yarn over and pull through those 2. And that's the pattern. 2 double crochets in one stitch, in the next stitch the falling leaf stitch, and do that all the way around, and you should end with 18 stitches, and I'll meet you there. Okay, so I'm all the way around here, and you see I didn't weave in that tail, so I'm going to have to weave that in. Now I'm going to slip stitch, not to the chain 3, but to that first stitch there. Slip stitch, and when I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, exactly what I want. Then I'm going to fasten off, weave in my ends, and we'll start with the next color. Okay, so here's what I have so far. Looking pretty. So the next color I think I'm going to use is this red. And for this round, I'm going to end up with 27 stitches. It's always good to know where you want to end up. Okay, so there's my slip knot, and I'm going to attach into the stitch right above one of the falling leaf stitches. Doesn't really matter. I just do that. And what I'm going to do is chain 3 and a double crochet in that same stitch. There we go. And in the next stitch, I'm going to do just 1 double crochet. You can see I'm going over my tail this time. In the next stitch, 2 double crochets. So that's the pattern all the way around. 2 double crochets, a single double crochet, 2 double crochets in 1 stitch, then just 1 double crochet in the next stitch. Oops, let me get into the stitch properly here. Into the next stitch, and then 2. Go all the way around. You should have 27 stitches when you're done, and I'll meet you there. Okay, so I'm all the way around. I'm going to slip stitch to that first double crochet, not the chain 3, but the first double crochet there. And when I count my stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Perfect. And I will fasten off. And I'll weave in my ends, and I will meet you back for the next round. Okay, so for the next round, I'm going to use my copper color. And we're going to do another falling leaf stitch round. So what I'm going to do here is make a slip knot. Guess we'll call this the falling leaves granny. Okay, so I like to attach for this round to the first of 2 double crochets that were together in 1 stitch. I just have this pattern in my head and it's easy for me to remember where I am. So I'll attach there and I'll chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm going to do another double crochet into that stitch. At the end of this round, we'll have 36 stitches. Then I'm going to do a single crochet into the next stitch. And then around the next post of the next stitch, and your post is always to the left of your stitch, okay? So don't get confused and put it on this one. You've already done a stitch there. So now I'll do the falling leaf stitch right there. So I'll yarn over, go under that post, yarn over, pull up a loop. I have 3 on my hook, yarn over, go back under the post, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the hook, yarn over, pull through 4, yarn over, pull through 2. And then in the next stitch, which is really close, sometimes it's hard to see, you kind of move your falling leaf stitch out of the way. It's right there. I'm going to do 2 double crochets in that stitch. 1, 2, then 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and then the falling leaf around this stitch. Okay, and that's your pattern. Then 2 double crochets in the next, 1 double crochet in the next, and the falling leaf in the next. And you'll do that all the way around, and you should have 36 stitches when you're finished. I'll meet you there. Okay, so I've come all the way around, and now I'm going to slip stitch again to that first stitch, not to the chain 3, but to that first stitch. There we go, and count my stitches. Perfect, 36 stitches. And I'll fasten off. And weave in that end. It's looking pretty. And I'll meet you back here for the next round. Okay, so for the final round, I'm going to use the, I think it's called bottle green yarn. And here's where we make our square. So I'm going to start again with a slip knot. And I'm just going to pick any stitch and attach my yarn. And I'm going to chain 3 and do 2 more double crochets into that stitch. Then chain 2 and then do 3 more double crochets into that stitch, and that makes our first corner. Now some people like to make a half a corner and come around and finish the other half. I find this works just fine, but however you like to do that. Okay, then what I do from here, let me just lay this tail over the edge, is I put a double crochet in each of the next 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to do another corner. So I'm going to do 3 double crochets into this space. Then chain 2. And then 3 double crochets again into that same space, creating my corner. Okay, so there I have 2 of my corners, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue around doing a double crochet in each of the 8 next stitches, and then another corner, which is 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. I'll do that all the way around and meet you at the end. Okay, so I'm back to the beginning here. Again, I'm going to slip stitch to that first double crochet, not the chain 3. I just like the way that looks better. Just like that. And then I will fasten off and weave in my end, and there is another one of my squares. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. If you have any questions at all, please list them in the comments below. I will get back to you as quickly as possible. And I know right now, if you watch my life update, I've been a little busy and haven't been responding to all comments, but I will respond to the questions first. Please send in pictures of your progress. I love seeing it, the community loves seeing it, and I'll put those progress pictures up in the show and tell. Okay, as always, thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate it. Remember to make it your own, and I'll see you soon.